What about the development of my art? Can the path another artist's work travels correspond to the course of my work? Think of two individuals walking along separate paths lined with tall thicket and positioned next to one another. They are moving in the same direction but don't realize it because they cannot see each other. When I visit the cemetery, I always wonder how much and for how long the human remains buried under my feet have been intermingling. There is no casket strong enough to contain the human spirit, and nature shares her bounty. I know at least two people who are interred in the same burial ground as me, and I always tell them this makes us of the same dirt. I am not one to romanticize my origins, and I would not mind some prehistoric mammal stirred into my being. I am too young for Maya Angelou or Dr. J. Robert Oppenheimer to be part of my blend. But there could be a little William Blake or E. Cummings in either thumb toe. Speaking of the great toe, I sometimes wonder what tortured soul dwells in my right bunion. Hemmingway? Munch? Goya? Michelangelo's Studies for the Libyan Sibyl is one of my favorite works of art. There is just something so intoxicating to me about the detailed studies of Sibyl's left innermost toe. This hallux has so much mass, it lifts off the page. Now I remember why I have this painful bunion. 33 years ago, I visited Studies for the Libyan Sibyl at the Metropolitan Museum of Art's study room for drawings and prints. Sibyl's heavy toe fell out of Michelangelo's drawing, off the table I was sitting at, and struck the first metatarsal bone of my right foot. Voilà! The bunion on my right foot was born. When I was in elementary school, I was infatuated with dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex in particular. I would go on archeological digs in the woods surrounding my house, hoping to find fossils or bones belonging to the T-Rex. As the years marched forward, what I hoped to exhume from the earth expanded to include human remains. I used to dream of digging up the skull of Phineas Gage, the man with a hole in his head. Many shovels full of dirt later, I learned that Gage's skull sits on a glass shelf in a display case at the Warren Anatomical Museum in Boston, Massachusetts. The Warren Anatomical Museum is number 3 on my bucket list. Number 1 on this infamous list is Dachau Concentration Camp, and number 2 is Yad Vashem. No one ever decreed that the contents of a bucket list needs to be all fun and games.